and that's the rabbi and the rebbitzin. You talk about selfless. You talk about the rabbi and the rebbitzin. Really, the rebbitzin makes shal shudis every single week. She cleans up for after the shul. We don't even realize we just walk into shul the next week and it's clean, great. And there's always tissues out there, and the rebbitzin's doing it all, and the rabbi can come up with a drasha like that, and he's there for all of our simchas and all of our things, and they mamish just do it out of total. When we say gemilas chasadim, we talk about chesed that you're not getting anything back from. It's like a gamal, like the tripod thing, the chesed that can stand on its own without any repayment, and it's an honor to be part of the kehillah and to be able to do whatever I can for the shul. Thank you. And if you haven't checked in with me, you can check in later. I was going to wear my Crocs tonight, but my wife didn't let me. It's more comfortable, but it wasn't as classy.
Was it? Okay.
The few people who I have to thank, without whom this Melave Malka would not have been possible. The work for this Melave Malka was not done by our shul's Melave Malka committee. We don't have committees. The work for this Melave Malka was done by just a few individuals, the entire thing from beginning to end. First, I'd like to thank Mrs. Chaya Abramson, who has selflessly given of her time and energy, and her husband's time and energy, to make this Melave Malka possible. She made phone calls, she spoke to people, she negotiated tuition, negotiated scholarships. If I just don't want to say too much, because then when the big moisters find out about her skills, they're all going to hire her for the tuition committee. On behalf of the entire Beis Medrash of Bayswater, thank you, Chaya Abramson. The second person who I need to thank, without whom this Melave Malka would be possible, is Rivka Goldstein. Who has the busiest life in the entire world. Compared to her, the President of the United States is bored. Nevertheless, she has taken from her time, found time to do what we needed to be done for the Melave Malka. She's been doing this for years. Without her, not only this Melave Malka would not have been possible, but our past celebrations would not have been possible either. She designed our invitations. She sent out our invitations. She actually sliced the paper for the invitations. She created our mailing, what do you call it, the email for the website. She listens to the reservations. Without her, this would not have been possible. Thank you very, very much, Rivka Goldstein. Friday afternoon, yesterday, my wife gets a call from somebody. That's a Friday afternoon, right before the Melave Malka, yesterday. My wife gets a call from somebody. I have time to call people to find out if they're coming to the Melave Malka. Is there still time to call people? Yonis and Orgel. Without him, this Melave Malka would not have happened. He called people yesterday to find out, because, by the way, guys, please, next year, please send in reservations by email or something, because, you know, people have to call, and Yonis and Orgel, Friday afternoon, he has nothing else to do. He has so much to do. But he called people, he volunteered. We didn't even ask him. It's not like he said, well, Rabbi, whatever you want me to do, I'll do. He called up. There are more people that need to be called. If it wasn't for these people, and my wife, in absentia, she's not feeling well tonight, so she couldn't come. She feels very, very bad. But if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have this Melave Malka either. If it wasn't her, we wouldn't have the rabbi either. Our next honoree. We have Nigla honorees and Nister honorees. This is a Nigla honoree. It's Mr. and Mrs. Yosef Frankie. I'll tell you, when Yosef came in tonight, everybody looked at him and said, oh, you look different, you're wearing a jacket and this, he's dressed up for the Melave Malka. I want to tell you, when people find out who Yosef Frankie really is, he's really going to look different, and I'll tell you why. I have a vort, and I really don't like so much saying over this vort, because it's based on something I don't even know if it's true. But the whole world knows it, and the whole world knows it because Shlomo Kalbach says the whole world knows it. It's one of the Kalbach stories that he says on his tape. I don't really know if this has a source anywhere, if it's true or not, but this is what he says. You know, in the story with the Schwarze Wolf story? Yeah. Okay. It has the Schwarze Wolf story. Forget about it. Part of the story is definitely not true. It has to do with the Chenstochover Rebbe, who's my grandfather, and there's no Schwarze Wolf in our family. It's okay, his story, it's no big deal. But he has over there a vort where he says that a tzaddik nigla looks like a tzaddik. You look and see a guy who's a tzaddik, but a tzaddik nister, someone who you don't know is a tzaddik, looks like whatever you look like. You see yourself reflected in him. So if you're a tzaddik, the tzaddik nister looks like a tzaddik to you. And if you're a Rasha, the tzaddik nister looks like a Rasha to you. Now, I don't know where it says that. I asked a bunch of Rebbes, and they didn't know either. You remember Steve Levine? I had him ask his Kalbach people. They have no idea either way. So I don't really know if it's true, but assuming it's true, I have real good pshat and pasuk. When Yosef's brothers came to Egypt, and they're sitting in front of Yosef. Now, they didn't know he was Yosef. They thought he was just the Egyptian prince, right? And they're telling him, Yehuda's saying, kapara, you're a bad guy, you're going to get soiras, and they thought that they were in big trouble. And then suddenly he says, Ani Yosef oidav ichai, and it says that the brothers nivhalu miponov, they were shocked from his face. Why does it say they were shocked from his face? Why doesn't it say nivhalu, they were shocked? Or nivhalu mimenu, they were shocked because, what does that have to do with his face? Teretz is, because if Shlomo Kalbach is right, that a tzaddik nister looks like you look. Yosef HaTzaddik was there. The brothers did not know he was Yosef HaTzaddik. The brothers thought he was a Russian, an Egyptian prince. Then, suddenly he announces to them, Ani Yosef, I'm Yosef. Now he's not a tzaddik nister anymore. Now he's a tzaddik nigla. So according to Shlomo Kalbach, what would happen is that previously, where he looked like an Egyptian prince, that's because he was a tzaddik nister. Now, suddenly he becomes a tzaddik nigla, and now he looks like a real tzaddik. And they were shocked, nivhalu miponov, because they realized that the only reason why he looked like an Egyptian Russia was because of what they were. Nivhalu miponov, now his face changed because he went from a tzaddik nister to a tzaddik nigla. And a tzaddik nister looks what you are. And according to Shlomo Kalbach, his face must have changed on the spot, because now he's a tzaddik nigla. That's nivhalu miponov. They were shocked that he was such a big tzaddik. 5 moments ago, he looked like a Russia to us. What does that mean about us? That's nivhalu miponov. And I'm so looking for a mocker to what he said, because it's such a good vort, but it's useless unless I really find the source. So I say, when Yosef Frankie, when we find out what he really is, he's really going to change. He's really going to look different. Because right now, Yosef Frankie looks to us like we look to ourselves, like us. Whatever you are, Yosef Frankie looks like that. Because Yosef Frankie, he's a real tzaddik nister, him and his Rebbetzin too. Do you know, how is it possible to have a tzaddik nister altogether? I don't understand. Imagine the Chafetz Chaim was amongst us. Is it possible for him to be a tzaddik nister? Is it possible for anybody to be a tzaddik nister? You come over to him in shul, you try to speak to him, he says, shh, I don't talk in shul. You tell him Lashon Hara, he puts his fingers in his ears. How is it possible? How is it possible for anybody to hide the fact that he's a tzaddik? How do we understand the whole concept of tzaddik nista? How does it work? Is it possible that your neighbor, the guy sitting next to you, could really be a tzaddik? If he really was a tzaddik, it would show in a million ways. You got to be learning Yom V'Layla. How does it work? Teretz says we don't understand what tzaddik means.